Welcome to Fit Talk with Coach Luis. If you're serious about getting fit, then this is your show. This is a podcast where fitness enthusiasts share all the ups and downs, the challenges, and the victories on their fitness journey. Now, here's your host, Coach Luis.
All right, everyone. Welcome again to Fit Talk with Coach Luis. And today we are talking with Ashley, a really, really great professional lifter, if I may say so myself. She is part of also the IronBreedPerformance. We're doing a little nice series with them where we talk about what they do with us as athletes, as ambassadors and all that. So I wanted to talk to her a little bit about what is it that brought her into fitness, what she did before and all that. So let's get it started. Thank you, Ashley, for being here.
Thanks
I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a beautiful, beautiful gym here you guys have to work out with, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Yeah.
We're spoiled. We love it.
Yeah, I bet it's a perfect spot. You got a lot of room. You got a lot of open space. It's pretty sweet. I'm happy to be here and check it out. And we'll be posting pictures about it too, so you guys can have it. We got Leslie helping us. We did an interview with her yesterday, so we had the two powerhouses in here at one time today, so it's pretty sweet. Yeah. All right, so tell me, Ashley, what is it that you feel is that drove you into fitness and the journey that you're in right now?
It was always a part of my life growing up. Obviously not CrossFit, but fitness in general. I started at 2 years old. I was pushed into gymnastics, so I followed through with that all the way through college. I dabbled in like track and a little bit of soccer and stuff too. So it was always just reinforced in my life. My dad was like a big bodybuilder, power lifter, so we always had a gym in my garage growing up. And then, through high school I took like strength training classes. I realized, wow, you're a little bit stronger here than the average girl. So literally from the time that I was born, I was just kind of always in some form of fitness.
I see that, and I see a lot in your story where you talk a lot about that. Your background is gymnast and gymnastics, and then now. So what transitioned you from doing just gym and gymnast movements into doing more of what you're doing now?
I guess I got old, so I couldn't do gymnastics anymore. But I mean, through college and stuff, I still taught gymnastics, still did gymnastics, played around. But then I had my son, so that wasn't really, realistic for me anymore to compete in gymnastics or anything. And then my one friend that I did gymnastics with, one of my teammates, she started doing CrossFit. And a lot of the movements from gymnastics transferred over. You still get to play on bars and rings and handstands and things like that. So I watched her at a competition, and I was like, I think I could do that. And then it was just fun from there, so I just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing then, from that transition, how long has it been since you started doing more of the CrossFit type workouts?
It was a while. From high school, from college, I was probably not doing as much fitness as I should have been for like maybe 5 years or so. And then I started CrossFit, and I've been there for about 7. Doing CrossFit for 7-ish, I would say.
That's good.
7,
yeah, so about 7 years.
Yeah.
Very nice.
In some form of another. Not always like this extreme, and I'll bounce back and forth, do some powerlifting competitions and stuff too.
So tell me about that. Powerlifting competitions. How, you got any coming up?
I did not commit to anything.
Okay.
I qualified to compete at Women's Worlds, and then when I looked it up, it's usually in September. This year, of course, it's the beginning of August, and I looked at it way too late, so I would need at least a longer training block, so that's probably out of the question. But I'll look into doing one probably September or October.
Okay.
So I'll start training now. I only usually do one a year. I just hate training by myself. I hate doing the repetitive training,
Gotcha.
5 sets of 10 over and over and over. I kind of have like a little bit of workout ADD where that's why CrossFit works for me. It's not the same thing every day. And it's, the movements and the workouts are like, go do this, then go do that, and that works for me. It keeps me motivated. I don't get bored, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you that if that's why you like the CrossFit world, because it mixes so much with the gymnastic world you're in, where you're always doing something different. So it's not just light stuff, it's also heavyweight because you do incorporate that into your work, into your routine.
Yeah,
That's
for
it's
sure.
really good. Yeah. So
Mix.
yeah, and that's nice. I think it's better to be a overall well-rounded trainer, I guess.
That's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
Trying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I was actually talking to her about it earlier that, you know, your gymnastics, like your movements you do and all these things, you still do it till today. Like none of it's really, not a lot of it has changed, and that's good because that helps you overall as you say, as we get older. It's really good to have that, you know, that strong core and functional fitness.
I always keep going back to the basics, even though I may be able to hold a handstand for 2 minutes or something. You'll still catch me in here before I warm up or during my warm up or whatever, and I'll still do the basic movements. And I think that is what really keeps me where I'm at. And I always encourage that to everybody else. Even though you can do the high level skills, just keep going back to the basics and keep reinforcing those. And I think it's really important.
Absolutely, that's really good advice. So thank you for that. So what would you say is your why for doing what you do? Like, what is it that fuels
That's
you?
always a good one. I think my why keeps evolving as I am. My why 7 years ago is much different than my why today. 7 years ago I started CrossFit solely for superficial purposes. I wanted to have a better aesthetic body. I had a kid, I gained weight, I didn't look like I did in high school, so I was just like, you know what, I don't care what I gotta do, I just want to be skinny, I want to look good in a bathing suit, I want other people to look at me and think, she looks good, It was a lot of based off of other people's opinions too. 7 years later, 7 years wiser, it is not about that at all.
Yeah.
It's not about aesthetics, it's about how I perform. And funny enough, when I started focusing on my performance, my aesthetics changed too. So now I am here because I am willing to push and see what my body's capable of. I just want to be fit for myself, for my family. I want to perform really well. I don't need to look the best anymore. I just want other girls to feel comfortable in their own skin, comfortable being stronger. It's changed. I've changed.
Absolutely.
And I think that's seeing what's possible.
Yeah, and I think that's the big part of kind of growing within ourselves. That our whys do change with time.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that we're evolving as humans. We're changing our train of thought, and that's fine. Absolutely fine. But so what is it that got you? I guess how did you get into doing with IronBreedPerformance? How did that happen?
Training for my very first powerlifting competition. So I think 3 years ago. I started going to a gym, like a local gym right down here, Campbell Fitness Center, and it's more like a global gym, I guess you would say, but it's still family-owned, family-run thing. So I go there. They have great stuff for powerlifting. They have a little functional fitness stuff now that they're growing into too. But I started going there. I go by myself. I put in my headphones, and I started trying to train for this powerlifting that I have no idea what I'm doing at all. Totally winging it. And I would go in and I'd see these guys that are like just super jacked and super strong, and I'd be like trying to like just watch them and mimic what they're doing and like soak it all in and absorb. But I still had no idea what I was doing at all. And Austin Zekman was one of those guys, and he was just so big, and he totally knew what he was doing, but he was also like a social butterfly there. So he would be talking to everybody and having a good time, and like really welcoming, and if you ever had any questions, he would always help. And I just from the very beginning, I remember him helping me with my belt. I'm like, all right, you have this powerlifting belt. I'm still using this CrossFit thing that I can't even use. It's illegal in powerlifting. So I'm like, how do I know to measure for this belt, and what do I do and stuff? And he showed me. He's like, 2 fingers and this, and I prefer it that way and that way, and you want to get this, and he kind of talked me through it. And so from then on, I was just like, all right, if I have any questions, I'm gonna kind of go to him. He was always really knowledgeable. He was young, he was still in college, but super knowledgeable. So I just kind of started gradually talking to him here and there, and he was at that time doing his own programming and nutrition and things too. And he was at my very first powerlifting competition, so it did kind of ease my anxiety a little bit to have somebody there that kind of knew, because I'm like asking questions like, do I go now? Should I warm up now? Like, what should I do?
Yeah.
And the crossfitter in me is like, I just want to squat now. Why do I have to wait 8 minutes to squat? I mean, I want to squat now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I
Nice.
first met him, and
Yeah.
he's been kind of helpful in guiding me throughout. Then he started his business, and I'm like, send me shirts, send me whatever. Like, I'll rep you. You've always been really good to me. So whatever I can do to help you out.
Yeah. Super nice guy. I talked to him a few months ago. Really, very knowledgeable, like you said.
Yeah.
He knows a lot, and yeah. So we talked about doing something like this. So it was really nice too. He was like, I know exactly who would be perfect. So he said you. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. They got to reach out and
Yeah.
actually do this. So nice. So what message would you want to send out to anyone that's listening about you and your story and stuff like that? What is there a message that you'd like to give them to, if they're maybe going through struggles or something like that, to where you would like to tell them, what tip or something that maybe that you went through that where you felt like man, this is, I don't know what to do now, like something that would help them push through some type of struggle that they may be going through?
Good question. I don't know. I mean, I think that's normal. I think highs and lows are normal. Training and in regular life, I think that's just part of it. I don't think if you're like cruising along and you're not having those, that's not okay either. You should feel the highs and you should feel the lows. I definitely hit points in my training when I'm never motivated half the time. I love naps and stuff, so I love like naps and food. But you get back on track, you might have like a bad week or a couple days or something that you're down, but give yourself that time, marinate in that a little bit, and then get back out and just get back out there and get back to the gym. I guarantee as soon as you get out there or you go do whatever work you have to do, you job, you get your money, you're gonna get back into it. And I think just be comfortable in yourself. Don't let where anybody else is in their life deter you. Stay on your own path, focus on your own stuff. Everybody hits it at a different point in their life. So if you're not where somebody else is at the same age, that's okay. You do it on your own timeline.
That's
yeah.
good. I love that last piece you said is really you against you.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
just focus on that. Whatever someone else is doing, that's great, that's fine, but it's true, it's you against you. And it's okay, like what you said about, it's okay to have those feelings, just don't stay there.
Yeah.
Have them, work through them, and then move forward. So that's really good advice. I'm sure people that are listening to it are going to like that a lot. So yeah, very good. Well, thank you. I'm glad you took the time out so we can talk and and get to a little bit more about you. So okay, so if there's anyone out there that would like to follow you or anything like that, what is your IG handle where they can find you and follow you and stuff like that?
I have a Facebook, but I don't ever use that, so don't look me up on there. I only use it for the gym stuff.
Yeah.
And my IG handle is Geisash, so Geisash.
Okay. Awesome.
And it's a lot of handstands and dog photos and food. I just love food.
It's perfect. The perfect three. We're actually going to try some handstands, so you got to see the video about that in a little bit later. Handstands and donuts.
Yes.
So yeah. But this was really good. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'm glad we got to talk and get to meet you in person.
Yeah, for sure.
You got it. All right, guys. That was it for today. Stay tuned for next time and the next chat that we have.
Thanks for checking out Fit Talk with Coach Luis. Remember to follow us on social media, on Instagram at Live2Progress and on Twitter at Live2Progress. Stay tuned for more episodes of Fit Talk with Coach Luis coming soon. And remember, always live to progress.